Hello everybody. Today we are installing the Evolve Technologies 3-spray 1.5 gallon per minute handheld shower head. The shower head kit consists of 2 hose washers, the bracket holder assembly for the head, the shower head itself, and the flexible hose. Now, I'm going to show you something about the shower head that separates it from your average low flow shower head. And that particular feature is a removable nozzle assembly here, and which makes it particularly useful and very helpful to allow cleaning of the unit. And in my case, that's pretty important because I am on well water, and as you can well imagine, I get a lot of mineral deposit buildup inside the shower head, as well as algae growth, and both of those contaminants will cause those nozzles to clog and eventually not work at all. So in the past, I've just had to dispose of the shower head because they were virtually uncleanable. This particular head, however, has a button on the side of it here, and you push that button and rotate the head first, I believe. Yeah. Push the button and you can open it up. And that allows you to, in my case, I soak these parts in vinegar, which kills and or dissolves whatever blockage has accumulated inside the head. So, a very, very nice feature, something that works very well for me, and would probably work well for anybody who desires to have a clean and contaminant-free shower head. Okay, so once we're done, we line up on the head. Has a notch on a flange there, and we line that up the notch inside the shower head. We push it in, give it a spin, make sure it's locked in, and we're good to go. So the first thing that we're going to install here is the holder, shower head holder adapter section that goes onto your inlet pipe, and it's this piece right here. Now, this piece comes with a washer already installed on a screen in there, so you won't need your hose washers at this point. We're just going to screw that right onto the pipe, and don't want to over tighten it, but we want to get it tight enough where we're not going to have a leak there. And let's see, I can pretty much do that by hand, but I'm just going to give it an extra twist just to give me a little bit of insurance. Maybe it may not be enough, but we'll find out later. And position this for our next step in the assembly, which is attaching the hose. And in this case, we will need to install one of the supplied hose washers. Just push it in there, and then onto the outlet threads here. And you'll notice that this end also has some flats on it, so you can put a wrench on there. So we're just going to give it a quick little twist with our crescent wrench, and hopefully that'll be enough to prevent any leakage. And finally we attach the shower head itself, and you'll want to place that washer inside this little head assembly. And then we're going to screw the shower head onto the hose here. Now you'll notice I have a little bit of Teflon tape on there just as a little bit more insurance, I guess. Now you can tell that you've got a pretty good seal there if this hose doesn't move around in the bottom. Same thing here. So it kind of indicates that it's pushing up against that rubber washer and providing a nice seal. Okay, so next you'll want to insert the head into the holder bracket. And another feature of the bracket here is that excuse me, it has a ball joint on it so that you can adjust the angle of the head. And the way that you adjust that is to turn this big nut on the bracket assembly clockwise and set your angle, and then turn it clockwise to lock it back down. And I think that's going to be fine for me. And finally, we're going to turn the water on and see what kind of performance we get out of this new head. Beautiful. In this position, we've got a nice kind of a narrow fast flow, narrow pattern, and as we turn the adjustment disc in the clockwise direction, that pattern widens out and the flow rate seems to slow down a little bit. Now I'm not sure that's what's really going on. Could be continuous 1.5 gallon, and I suspect that is what it is, because we're just adding more holes at this point that the water can spray from. And as we continue to go in the clockwise direction, the pattern gets wider, and the force with which the water is coming out seems to lessen a bit. And then finally we go completely clockwise, and we've got the maximum diameter of the flow pattern. And I think this is going to work just fine. Yep. I like that. And we're going to leave it right in the middle. Well, thanks for joining us today, and I hope that you will enjoy your Evolve Technologies 1.5 gallon per minute shower head. Bye now.